As you can see in this matrix, there are mainly four aspects as we discussed previously. So the first aspect is working arrangement. That is, who is going to do the design and who is going to do the construction. Deciding that factor covers under the working arrangement. Now, so we can mainly identify in the industry there are four main working arrangements. The first one is traditional path, and this path can be identified like most of the construction projects are going through traditional path in general, more than maybe 50-60%. So traditional path is having main two ways of delivering it, that is sequential method and accelerated method. So we'll come back to that in a second. So let's understand what is traditional path really means. So as name suggests, it is the traditional way of doing construction, and some professionals name it as separated method as well. That is because the design and construction is separated. So mainly, as you can see in this matrix, the client will have services contracts with designers who will design the project, and after the design there would be a bidding phase, and then you will select a contractor. So this contractor will have a contract thereafter with the client, and the main contractor will have number of subcontractors and his suppliers to deliver the project. So this is how it will work. So as you can see with the sequence, so design will start in the beginning and full design will be finished, and then you will go for the bidding phase, and then you will select a contractor and ask him to do the construction. So virtually the longest path a construction project can be taken is under this traditional path. As you can see, design, competition and construction, nothing is in parallel. So it is sequential. So it takes the maximum amount of time that a construction project can take. So that is one of the disadvantages as well. So why people are using this traditional path or DBP path, design bid build path? There are a number of advantages. The main important thing is the quality is under employer's control. What do you mean by quality? Now, in a construction project, I identified quality in a number of aspects. The first thing is you have a quality design. That means you employ good consultants, good architects, and ask them to design as per the industry standards or world standards. So then you can get a good quality design. Then in the construction, you can monitor the quality by make sure that the construction will be done in accordance with the specification. So that is called construction quality. Now in here, I'm discussing this quality is about design prestige. That is what client wants will be built. So since you have a specialized designer who will work alongside with the client can make sure that his design intent or his wishes are put it into the design properly. So that is what I was explaining about quality. Quality is under employer's control. Then power to change. Since we will be going through a full design and then we will develop a detailed BOQ at the end of the design period, you have and then you have a design as well. So when you want to do changes during the construction, it is easy to do because you have a designer who would be the supervisor as well. So he will do that small change of the design, and in order to price that design change, you have a detailed BOQ, and this BOQ has been priced by a number of contractors, and the rates in the contract now is properly market tested. So you know that you will not pay any prohibitive cost for the variations. So that is one of the advantages. The other thing is you can get cost certainty from traditional path because you have finished the full design and you have a detailed BOQ, so that you can go for contractors can price it properly, so that you have the price certainty as a client. Then contractors' risk premiums would be low because he has to a reasonably degree, he has a good design information. So he doesn't have to put lot of risk premiums. So the tender price might be low in comparison to other working arrangements. For the contractors also, another advantage is there, that is the tender price or tender preparation cost would be low. Because he doesn't have to do a lot of assumptions in comparison to like design and build part, because we have all the details already given in the tender phase. So what are the disadvantages? The main disadvantage is there's no one person responsible for the design and construction. It is separated. So there would be, if there's an issue happens, there might be some blame games happening in the construction. Then, as we discussed previously, the time consumption is another disadvantage, and variations are expected in this procurement system, and there might be claims or design errors also can happen, because design is the person who knows what to build and the contractor is the person who knows how to build it. So if you don't match these together, then there might be some buildability or the claims or design errors as well as buildability issues. So these are the main disadvantages of traditional path. Now, as you can see in the previous matrix, we discussed that there are two ways of doing traditional path. One is accelerated method, the other one is sequential method. So we discussed just now the sequential method. So some of the times clients wants to use the traditional path because of their advantages. So when they are weighing advantages and disadvantages, they want to go for traditional path, but still they want to reduce the disadvantages, like reduce the time consumption in traditional path. So in that situation, you can go for accelerated method. So what do you mean by accelerated method? So basically your intention is to reduce the time. So you can reduce the time in three manners. One is you reduce the design period, or you reduce the bidding phase, or you reduce the construction phase. So how you can do that? One of the ways you can do is you design the project to a certain extent, like 70%, and keep the balance for provisional sums. Like maybe if you are designing a building, you can keep the MEP package as a provisional sum. So you can reduce the design period. Then in the bidding phase, instead of going for a detailed tender process, maybe you can go for negotiation, or maybe you can go for two-stage tendering. So in the two-stage tendering, we will discuss that in detail later. What you are going to do, what you are doing is you are selecting a contract in the beginning of the design. So in the bidding phase, you can reduce the duration. So that is another way of doing accelerated method. The third way of doing accelerated method is you reduce the construction duration. How you can do that? You can package the construction. Like most frequently we have seen in the industry that we go for an enabling package. So while the project is designing, as soon as we finish the enabling works design, we employ a contractor and ask him to do the enabling package. So while he is doing the construction, we can go ahead with the main package and award that main package to another contractor. By doing so, we can reduce the construction duration as well. So these are the main four methods of accelerated method that we can use in traditional path, so that we can reduce the time consumption of this working arrangement. Thank you.